Good evening. I will be giving a demonstration on how the young and the restless change a flat tire. I am a mechanic for the City of Tulsa Police Garage, and a lot of times when we do work on police cars and we have to test drive them, our motto is, if you can't do 90 miles per hour in a car, then you should be able to feel safe to do 90 miles per hour, and that's unheard of. But that's our motto. You know, if we get it done correctly, then we know that an officer will be able to do high-speed chases and stuff like that. The purpose of this speech is to give you a little knowledge on how to do a simple tire change. I'm gonna give you a brief story about how, me and my wife, we normally travel back and forth from Tulsa to Dallas because we have 2 children that lives in the Dallas area. And when we travel, it was one time when we was traveling, I had just purchased a used tire, and we drove there, drove back, wasn't no problem, but on our way close to home, the tire came apart. And when it came apart, we had just made it into our apartment complex. And so when I popped the trunk to get the spare tire out, we have a 2013 Sonata, and when we purchased the vehicle, there was no spare tire or no tire tools in there. So to my surprise, I had to use the jack out of my other vehicle, which is a truck, and it was, I had to figure out how to get this tire and stuff off without even having a spare tire to put it on. So the first step would be, right before you jack the car up, you're going to use a tire iron, or lug wrench is what we call it, to break the tires, the lugs off the tires loose. Now when you break it, you just want to get it unsnug to where once you get the jack and put it on the lower part of the frame, where it's not gonna mess your fender up or anything like that. And once you put the jack where it needs to go, if you're not sure where to put the jack, then you can look in your owner's manual if you have one, and it should be able to show you the lifting points on the car. But okay, let's say you got that done. So you would take the jack and put it on the solid part of the frame of your car. And right after you break the lug nuts, what you will want to do is slowly make sure the jack is locked. If you have a hydraulic jack, make sure it's locked, and then slowly pump the jack to where you can get, I think, about 6 inches of the tire is 6 inches off the ground. So once you get the tire off the ground, then what you can do is use your lug wrench and slowly take the lug nuts off the tire. And then, once you take the lug nuts off, you can put them off to the side, out of the way, And so once you break the lug nut, once you take the lug nuts off, then what you can do is, the way of the tire, you have a round tire, and you want to have one hand at the 2 position, and then the other hand at the 10 position, and then you're just gonna pull the tire off like that. And then what that does, by keeping your hands at the 10 and the 2, is if the jack so happen, God forbid, that if the vehicle falls, then your hand is not trapped to where you lose your fingers or hurt your hand. And once you take the tire off, then you can either get your tire repaired, or if you have a spare tire, which we didn't at the time. So what I had to do, I had to get the tire repaired, and then I left the car on the jack and got the tire repaired. And then once I got the tire repaired, then I put the tire back on, and I put the tire back on, and then reversed the way that you did. But in closing, what I want you to remember is just make sure that you have your hands at the 10 and the 2 point, and that will help you to be safe when changing a flat tire. Then also, what I would like to reiterate too is, before you jack the car up, you want to break the lug nuts loose. Because if you don't do that, then you will jack the car up, and then you'll have to use a lot of force to try to break those lug nuts, and that's kind of difficult to do too. If you follow these simple rules, then you will be home in time to watch The Young and the Restless. Good evening.